Hi, Maril Solis Paz here to talk about the monthly transits and the astrological events that are going to be the most impactful for the month of October, which is really all about managing your energy, right? Astrology is really a language that is full of symbols that tell you about the relationships between planets in certain positions, in certain signs, right, in certain locations, so that it can explain to you how the cosmic symphony is influencing us right now, because we're both cosmos and human beings, energy systems, and we have to see energy dynamics and energy interactions. And it's super helpful to be able to use this information for your own well-being, for your own business, for seeing when you have more energy available for what. Therefore, here it goes. First of all, this is going to be a super interesting month because it is a blue moon month. We're going to have two full moons, starting with the first full moon that is going to be take place in October 1st. So tomorrow we have the very first full moon, and on the 31st we'll have the second full moon of the month, the blue moon. Okay, full moon on October 1st is going to be 9 degrees Aries. So this is, as you know, full moon is sun in one sign and moon in another sign, the opposite. So we've got sun in Libra. Right now we're in the Libra season, and so the full moon will be in the sign of Aries. The super important part about this is that right next to Aries we have Chiron. Chiron is the wounded healer. Okay, you have three parts to Chiron. Chiron is really all about letting you know where you have sort of that wound that you came with. The second part is how do I find the medicine, or what is that medicine for me to heal that wound? And the third part is how can I share that medicine with the world and help other people heal themselves as well, okay? The same way that I healed myself. So this is an interesting moon for healers, for healing, for figuring out what it is that you have left to heal, for figuring out what it is that you have already healed during all this process. There have been many retrogrades where we've gone inside. That's what retrogrades are really, really good for. And so it is going to bring out also themes around this whole Libra Aries axis, which is very much about independence and self-sufficiency and doing things on your own, and that warrior spirit, which is all about Aries, and Libra, which is all about partnership, the other person, relationships, etc. So really touching, journaling on these sort of themes, on how these sort of concepts relate to you, how you relate to them, will be a great thing to do for the full moon on October 1st. Okay, the actual full moon exact by degree is going to happen on October 1st at 2 p.m. LA time, which is where I'm located. But you know that the moon stays in a sign for 2.5 days, and the impact of a full or a new moon goes for like 2 weeks until the next cycle of new or full moon. Okay, so there you have it. On the 2nd of October, Venus is going to enter the sign of Virgo. The sign of Virgo, it's really interesting. We've been in Venus in Leo, and this is kind of like, if you know the book, The 5 Love Languages, Venus in Leo would be like the gift giver, and stepping into, on the 2nd of October, Venus in Virgo would be like stepping into, love as acts of service. So we're going to begin to feel like we want to, and also receive or see other people loving us as doing little detailed things for you, like, hey, I did the dishes because I knew that you were tired coming from work, or like, hey, I went to this place and I thought of you, so I got your car washed or something, things like that. And it's a really great time to appreciate those little things that sometimes we overlook. Okay, 4th of October, Pluto goes direct in Capricorn. This is a really interesting and much awaited thing, because this is going to tip the scales on the retrogrades. Jupiter, we had like 6 retrogrades, and it was a heavy time, okay, in September at one point, but then Jupiter came out of its retrograde period in Capricorn, and then yesterday on the 29th, Saturn came out of its retrograde period as well in the sign of Capricorn. So Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto have been retrograding in the sign of Capricorn, and now on the 4th of October, this Sunday, Pluto also goes direct and gets out of its retrograde. Well, what happens is a lot of energy gets released, and the ability to actually move forward in whatever things these planets rule. Okay, so for example, with Jupiter, it's abundance, it's opportunity for growth, expansion. With Saturn, it's the lessons we've learned, the mastery we've acquired, the time, the discipline. With Pluto, is your personal power. So it's going to feel really, really good, and we're going to have more planets direct than planets that have been in retrograde. And so this is going to be a really nice feeling thing. On the 6th of October, we have something that it is known to NASA as the close approach of Mars. Okay, close approach is when Mars has its closest to us, to the planet Earth. Okay, this is interesting because right now, as you know, Mars is in the sign of Aries, which it rules in the natural zodiac. So it's in what we call dignity or domicile. It's at home. Therefore its influence is augmented. And so therefore we may feel at this close approach, or at this closest point, we may feel on the 6th like it's a trigger for all the things that are related to Mars, which is Mars rules action, okay, the ability to do things, which is right now a little restrained because Mars is retrograde. Frustration, anger, war, sexuality, all the testosterone type of stuff. That's what Mars actually rules, okay? And so you may feel like maybe on the 6th of October, with Mars having its closest approach, you will feel or may feel, if any frustrations are deep within and you haven't really looked at them, acknowledged them, and you haven't maybe repressed, those are gonna come out, okay? That's a good thing. It may not be a comfortable thing, and it may not be something that you're looking forward to, but it's actually a necessary thing. If you're repressing anything that you have as a frustration, and by frustration I mean something that makes me angry because this is where I am and this is where I want to be, and I don't know how to close that gap. Well, this is a call to action to close that gap. And I don't mean action in like, what can I do externally, but how can I prepare to close that gap? Because since Mars in Aries is actually retrograde periods are good for preparing, for reviewing, for going within and seeing what I have to shift and change. And then when Mars goes out of its retrograde period, then you'll be able to get into the action for doing things, okay? So that's something to keep in mind. On the 13th of October, Mercury goes retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde like 3 times a year for like 3 weeks at a time, so it's not a big deal. It goes retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, okay? Whenever Mercury goes retrograde, it always tends to affect communication, so you may be up for miscommunications. Be very conscious and careful about what you discuss. It's in the sign of Scorpio. It's really, because retrogrades are super useful for going within, it's really good to dig into the subconscious mind. Scorpio rules the subconscious mind. You want to dig in there, see what you have not seen that you have as resource or gift or talent, whatever, and what you have not seen that maybe you don't have, things that you didn't know that that you thought you were really good at, and you're like, well, God, I didn't know I was such a bad communicator, or I really need to work on A, B, and C, things like that, okay? On the 27th of October, Mercury then will be so retrograde that it will have gone back from Scorpio into the sign of Libra. We'll talk about that in a minute. On the 16th, that's one big thing I want to talk about. The new moon in Libra on the 23 degrees. New moon in Libra that's going to be squaring. Okay, new moon means the sun is in Libra and the moon is in the same sign. Okay, new moon is always sun and moon in the same sign. So both are going to be in Libra, squaring these 3 planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, that are in Capricorn, which are in turn squaring Mars in Aries and also Chiron in Aries, okay? So, and these two, of course, these Libra planets over here are going to be opposition of these Aries planets over here. That's a very strong tension, kind of strife configuration. We may feel this new moon in Libra on the 16th at 23 degrees. I don't know how you're going to feel it, because it depends how you are going to be, where you're going to be located in the vibratory frequency scale of energy. Wherever you place yourself, on whatever frequency you place your own vibration, that's where you're going to be. And so I suggest that for the 16th of October, because I know that there's a lot of prophecies or doomsday kind of things, that you consciously affirm, decree, and state to yourself and to the world that you only align with high energy vibration realities, with the most harmonious, well-being, well-meaning, good timelines, and all of these, you meditate upon, and that you affirm all of these things where you bring your energy super high up, so that you're not in this strife that can be created with these very difficult cosmic energies on the 16th of October with the new moon, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. On the 22nd, Sun enters Scorpio, so we shift from Libra season into Scorpio season, which is a season that goes from like the love and romance and chatty Cathy kind of energy of Libra, and focus a little bit more on partnership, to an energy that is super deep. Again, we're talking subconscious mind from the 22nd to the 27th, where the sun is in Scorpio and Mercury will still be in Scorpio before it retrogrades back into Libra. You're going to have very deep access into your own subconscious mind. It's a great time to do shadow work. I would highly recommend it because it's much needed. Remember that most of the content that you have is in your subconscious mind, not in your conscious mind. So it's a great place to go, both for the pretty stuff and the not so pretty stuff. Okay, you got to look at the stuff that is uncomfortable and you got to shift that, but you also have their gold in the subconscious mind, in the shadow, in the darkness. In the darkness, you go in there and you'll find some really good stuff too. So do not be afraid to do that work. It's necessary work for so many of us here on this planet. Okay, and so on the 27th, Mercury goes retrograde in Libra. This is going to be coupling up a little bit with, on the 29th, Venus enters Libra. So Mercury will be retrograding in Libra, Venus will be retrograding in Libra. Remember, Mercury is mind and communication, and Venus is love. Venus is actually the sign that rules, the planet that rules the sign of Libra. It rules Libra and it rules Taurus. So again, Mars is in the sign that it rules in Aries. Saturn is right now in the sign that it rules in Capricorn, and Venus will enter the sign that it rules in Libra. When this happens, this planet kind of gains a little bit of momentum, it gains importance, and Venus always brings really good stuff. So it's almost like Venus is going to be like, hey, Mars and Aries, like, let's talk about things, let's hang out, let's with Mercury there too helping out, it's going to be softening a little bit of this intense Mars and Aries retrograde energy, even though they're going to be opposing each other, because again, Aries and Libra are opposites. Anything that involves Venus is going to be always productive. Okay, so it's going to be really interesting what happens on the 29th. And then on the 31st, a really cool thing, which is the blue moon. You know that saying, once in a blue moon. It doesn't happen very often. Okay, well, now it's going to happen. 2 full moons in a given month. And this is going to be full moon in Taurus, because by this time, the sun, of course, we're in the middle of Scorpio season. The sun will be in Scorpio, the moon will be in Taurus. These two opposite signs are going to try to generate complementation, balance, harmony, and integration. Okay, this is going to have some help from Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter all in Capricorn, because both of those signs, Scorpio and Taurus, get along really well with the sign of Capricorn, and so this end of the month full moon, which happens, of course, nothing is coincidence, it happens on the day of Halloween, is going to be intense, because Scorpio, of course, is intense, and it's a full moon, so it's an opposition. Okay, so it's energies that are opposed to each other. So again, intense, trying to reconcile, looking to complement each other, but maybe if they don't achieve it, it's tension as well. Okay, but it's going to be much softer than, for example, the energy we may feel on the new moon on the 16th, because of all the square, which are tension, limiting type of relationships between planets that are not going to be present on this full moon on the 31st. Okay, so there you have it. This is a really fast and quick overview of what's going to be happening astrologically in the month of October. This summary I do every month in this channel in English. You can always follow me on Instagram at Maril Solis Paz. I post there a lot more. I have my channel in Spanish as well, Maril Solis Paz Español. If you speak Spanish, you can go there. I actually post there weekly because I have, over 11,000 followers there, and I just launched this English channel, and so there's only so much a girl can do, right, at a given time. And so follow me on Insta and follow me on Facebook too, Maril. I think I have Maril Solis Paz Astro Coaching there. And so you can follow me on whatever channel you prefer to get more frequent English information on astrology and many other things, because I don't just talk about astrology. I've done a video on Schumann resonance, on limiting beliefs and things like that, because really what astrology is to me is a language to manage, to understand symbols, to understand your energy, the energy of the cosmos and your own energy, and how you can, you know, kind of work with all of this and not be bound by it or not be affected by it without knowing what you can actually work with. Okay, so Instagram is what I would recommend the most. I sometimes do some lives there too, Q&As. I post a lot there. I reply to comments. I'll reply to comments here as well. So looking forward. Please share this channel if you so feel it. You can always email me at maril@marilsalispaz.com. All the information for all this that I'm telling you, by the way, is also in here in the description of the YouTube channel. So you can just expand the drop down, not drop down menu, but the drop down arrow that they have there. And please turn on notifications so you can get a notification every time I post up a video, which is once a month so far, but it's going to increase. I will do it. Okay, but all this information on my Instagram and my Facebook, and how to write me to do your own private one-on-one astro coaching session, in which I go over, you know, your natal chart and the most important points, your purpose point, many things. And it's a coaching session because I really give you, we talk about what is most important for you at this moment, and I give you strategies to really manage your energy, where you need to go depending on the area that you want to work on, whether it's work or love or health or whatever it may be. Okay, looking forward to doing more videos here on this channel, and as always, many blessings for this month and always.